All right, good morning, guys. Hope you guys are having a fantastic morning. Today is Wednesday, March 3rd. Hope you guys are ready to rock and roll. Okay, so first things first, let's go over the market, see what we're looking like for today. So SPY and the Qs both selling off a little bit here at pre-market. We are, we're getting rejected once again here at this 390.50 pivot that we're looking at yesterday. And the Qs did drop back down below the ascending trend, which you guys know is one of the toughest resistance levels to cross, break, hold, and continue to push. So we're getting a little bit of a pull here. We do have this distribution right above on SPY that we tapped 3-4 times and 3 times, and we're starting to roll over. So we do have a little bit of room lower back down towards, today I'd be looking around the 383, 384 range, and we could start looking for bottoming there on the market if we do get that pull back down to there. But the Qs are tapping an accumulation zone right down here. So I think this is going to sort of stabilize the market here. I think the Qs tapping that, being inside of this accumulation zone here is going to sort of stabilize the market. I don't think we're going to get a full-blown sell-off. Besides, like we were talking about yesterday, the VIX is still has quite a ways to go before it starts tapping that lower Bollinger Band. So we still have a lot of room to move to the upside on the market. With the weakness that we are seeing here pre-market and with the Qs dropping down, if we do drop down into this accumulation zone, we're probably going to see a pretty choppy day. So with that being said, let's take our profits when we got them. Let's try not to marry anything. Make sure you're taking profits along the way and moving your stops up, okay? So just expecting a bit of a choppy day in the market. Okay, so let's go over our notes here. First one on our list, KMPH. So they're gapping up. They announced FDA approval of a drug for ADHD. So I think this is just a pop and fade. It's good. They got approved and everything. The problem is I don't think the drug is going to hold up. It's medicine for ADHD. Not that I'm not trying to say that there's a lot of people struggling with ADHD and whatnot, but I just don't think that this is going to hold up. So what I mean by that is this isn't a breakthrough drug. This isn't curing cancer. It's not curing blindness. It's not you know what I mean. So I think this gap up is just a little bit too much for this approval for this type of drug. So if we do get a pop out of the open to 20, let's start looking for topping and we'll short it. If this does start to just roll over out of the open, we can grab it short and fade it off. So let's take a look here. KMPH. So let me make this a bit bigger here. Oops. Thinkorswim is giving me a little bit of problem this morning. Okay, so we are sitting right here inside this accumulation zone. So if we start breaking down out of this right here at this 1550, you guys go ahead and short it. I'm looking for this 12 fade down here, 13. 12 range. So if we start breaking that, out of the open, just look for that fade back down here, 13 to 12. Below that, we do have room back down to about 1060. If we do pop up and we start to run a little bit, start targeting this 20, and we top it off and short it from there. Ultimately, just leaning towards a pop and fade. CAN, gapping up in sympathy of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has got a beautiful flag that we're forming. Due to a little bit of time restrictions here, I won't go over this chart, but we've got a beautiful flag. But we are starting to sell off just a little bit here pre-market, and we're starting to see that reaction on CAN as well. So I was looking for a bit of a pull back down here to 24. We are starting to get that already. I'll go ahead and show you guys here. So we are starting to get that pull down to 24. But what this does is it resets us. You know, it gives us a little bit of that pull that we're looking for out of the open. So at this point, we can start to look for that push out of the open. If we do continue to sell off here out of the open, we technically don't have support until right down here at 23 to 22.50. I think this is a good place to start looking for a bounce on it. But if this does start to push out of the open, we can just grab it long for that push back up here towards 26 and then break through that. We got 27.50 and then onward to 31. So we do have a lot of room to run. And this pullback, though it doesn't look very attractive, it is resetting us enough to where we can just start running out of the open. Okay. So just to recap, look for either at this point, pull back down here, 23, 22.50, or if this starts to push, look for that long out of the open at 26.25, and then we'll, you know, we'll just judge the price action from there and see where it goes. Arna, they reported top line results for phase 2. We're getting a bit of a gap down here. So, you know, they didn't meet their primary endpoint. That's why we're getting a gap down. Now, Arna has 19, I believe it's 19 or 20 drugs in their pipeline. This one drug is not going to hurt them all that much. Like you guys know, if you guys have traded with me for any sort of time, that I like to look at each drug in their pipeline as a percentage of their company in, you know, in a whole. Obviously, that's not going to be all of it, but that's kind of what I like to look at. So, I don't think this one primary miss is going to destroy the stock today. I think they've got plenty more to back this one up. And yeah, and we're on a phase 2 as well. So what I would prefer to see is a pull out of the open back down towards 67.50. From there, I think that'd be a good spot. We got a nice accumulation zone. We can start looking for the bottoming on it down there at that 67.50. We can grab it long up there. It should get a nice bounce and nice grind higher today. If this does start to get bought up out of the open, it's going to be a quick scalp trade back up towards 75, and then we'll top it off and we'll be done with it from there. Let's take a look here. So looking for either a pull right down here, 67.50 to 68. Start looking for the bottoming on it, grab it long. Should be a nice bounce and grind higher today. If this does start to get bought up here, look for that quick push up towards 75 and be done with it. Just a nice scalp trade back up towards 75. I would prefer to get that, I'd prefer to get that pull down to 67.50, but, you know, we'll play it either way. Dollar Tree, we're gapping down earnings. We had a earnings beat, and we're getting a bit of a pullback. I don't think people were too impressed with them. So at this point, I think we need just a little bit more of a pull out of the open, and then we can look for that bottoming, and we can grab it long. I'd prefer to see it right back down here towards 95. From there, we'll start looking for the bottoming on it, grab it long for a nice bounce and grind higher today. Otherwise, if this starts to get bought up out of the open, you know, you grab it long for a quick pop to 98. It's going to be same thing as Arna. If it starts to push out of the open, just grab it long, quick scalp trade back up towards 98, and then we got to top it off and be done with it from there. So let's take a look here. I would prefer, like I said, this pull right down here to 95, back down inside the accumulation zone. We got a nice support pivot here at 94.35. So if we can get that pull, look for that bottoming down here, grab it long, we'll get that nice grind higher. If we do start to push here, quick scalp trade, bam, right up to 98 and be done with it. Start topping it off and be done with it from there. Upside guidance. So if this, I'm looking for this to get bought up a little bit. I would prefer to see a little bit more of a pull out of the open here, back down towards 36. As you guys can see right here, 36 and under. From there, start looking for the bottoming on it, grab it long. I think it should be a nice bounce and push higher on it from there. If we do start to pop, you can grab it long for a quick pop to 42. And then from there, I would actually start looking for the topping on it and short it. I think it'll fade from there. But ultimately, if we do, the guidance is what's going to get this one bought back up today. If we can get this pull back down here towards this 36. I think it'll be a great long off that level if we do get that quick little snap back down there into that accumulation zone. And then we'll look for the bottoming on it, grab it long. Otherwise, if this starts to get bought up, you guys can grab it long for that quick pop up towards 41 to 42 range, and then top it off and short it. I think it'd be a choppy fade from there. And the last one is Zoom. Zoom had a pretty nasty candle yesterday, and I'm looking for a continuation today. Downside continuation today. So I'd like to see a quick short covering pop out of the open to 390. From there, top it off and short it. I think it'll be a nice all-day fade from there. If we do start to roll over out of the open, you guys grab it short for a quick snap down to 370, and then we'll let it base out. We'll let it consolidate for a bit before we grab it short for that next leg. So we will, let's take a look here. So we're gapping down below this accumulation zone. I'm sorry, distribution zone now. So at this point, look for a pop up here, 390, top it off. And it'll be choppy as we're inside this range right here. But as soon as we start breaking this 382, should get that nice, we'll get that nice sell off once again. Otherwise, look for that quick snap down here, 370, let it base out, and then we'll grab it short for that next leg down. We've got tons of room to the downside, back down towards 330. Not saying we're going to get there today, possibility, but not saying we're going to get there today, but we do have the room. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Have a good day.